Hey, hello, and welcome to another episode of World of Unknown. It's me, Danny, and it's also
Trevor.
What's going on, guys? Thank you for joining us here again. We got another big episode. Hopefully, if you watched the last couple, it's been solo ones, but we get together every once in a while. We try to knock out some of the big ones. Anyways, we're going to jump into sleep paralysis. This is a kind of a hot topic lately, especially in my world that I've been at, where I work at. It's been coming up a lot lately, and we talked about it, and we were kind of like, dude, we should just jump into this. It's been coming up a lot. So let's go ahead and get right into this, because it's a kind of a odd thing, because there's a scientific reasons for it, and at the same time there's not. So
yeah, there's some supernatural, like people really believe in that supernatural reason.
Right, exactly. So let's get started here. Let's go ahead and just tackle the scientific reasons of it and everything, since it's not so much of the fun topic of it. We go in like we know what this is on top of it, and then we'll jump into the folklore part of it. So the sleep paralysis, basically. What is that sleep paralysis? It's called REM Antonia.
So sleep paralysis, technically, if I guess 20 to 60% of the adult human population has had it at one point in their life.
Right.
It's where you literally are paralyzed, but you can open your eyes while you're sleeping.
Right.
You can't move a muscle. You can't
Right.
do anything. Some people have like a feeling of weight on their chest.
Right.
Others have a feeling like there's somebody right outside the peripheral of their sight.
Right.
But what technically it is we go into different types of sleep.
Yeah.
And REM is where you start dreaming.
Yes.
So REM, you get two chemicals that flood your system, so that when you're having crazy dreams, you're not flailing and you're not hurting anybody else.
Right. So if you're dreaming about running, you're not running.
You're not running into
running.
the wall,
so shut your body down. Gotcha.
So GABA and glycine flood your system, and what they do is they pretty much paralyze your skeletal muscles.
Okay.
So
Makes
you can't
sense.
move.
Right.
That's when every once in a while, which I've heard, it's when you have really bad sleep habits.
Yeah.
You're exhausted. Stress will do it too.
Stress will do it. Yeah.
For some reason, your eyes will wake up. Like you'll wake up during this REM cycle.
Like your brain doesn't shut off, but your body does. Basically.
Yeah, like your brain wakes up.
Right.
But your body is still asleep, and
Yes.
then now you're fighting because you're like, all right, move my hand, and then your body's like, no,
It's not responding.
You need to just relax because
Yeah.
we're in this
Right.
situation.
Right.
We're trying to.
Your body's asleep in sleep mode, and your mind for
Yeah.
some reason. But exactly, as you said, like stress, poor sleep, or here it says disrupted REM cycle. So maybe you're just kind of getting up. You
woke up at
messing
the wrong time.
Yeah.
Like when you feel real groggy
lot,
when you wake
yeah.
up, is you woke up at the wrong time in your sleep cycle.
Right. And out there, there's people that have had this happen to them, and some not. It is like Trevor's saying. It's really kind of common in some people. Some people have had it once. People continually have it sometimes. So it's just your sleep habits, basically, is what it is. So that's anything else about that? I mean, that's basically
No, it's pretty
scientifically
much,
that's exactly
that's
what it is.
scientific,
Okay,
yeah.
that's a scientific reason people have that. Again,
But like all things,
yeah, but all
there's
things.
a supernatural point to it.
So, right, and let's going to break down. So, back in, before we found out exactly what this all was, it's basically in a history, in kind of folklore, before people had scientists to say, this is what this is going on here. Obviously, people thought it was supernatural stuff, paranormal. They thought it was demons. They thought it was ghosts. They didn't know how to explain it, especially back with a lot of things, basically. So we're going to jump into some of the other countries' folklore things of what they were seeing.
And this has been going back for hundreds of years.
I mean, because sleep paralysis, exactly. It's going on forever, and the way they explained it back then, obviously, is as they do all things. everything's always a demon or a ghost. But let's say in the Netherlands, they called it the night devil. In 1644, a Dutch physician, geez Louise, sorry, Isbrand van Diemerbroek.
Yeah,
He wrote of a woman who claimed the devil lay upon her and held her down. So that was like a demon, a devil. It's a demonic possession or witchcraft. They thought that was happening at the time.
Yeah,
which is understandable.
You don't have the technology we do.
No.
You don't have brain scans while people sleep and this happens.
You don't have the medical.
They just were trying to figure out why. And there was a lot of witchery shit going on back in the day.
Exactly. So why
if
would
they
you
couldn't
think
explain
that,
it, they would blame it on a witch or a devil or.
In Scandinavia, it was known as the Mara, a malicious spirit who sits on your chest, suffocates you. That's where we have all the symptoms of that. The word nightmare actually came from this word, this legend thing. I don't know how that came.
Cool.
That's called Mara. So the nightmare came out of that. So it's often depicted as a female demon or a shadowy rider.
Why is it always female?
I have no idea. In Middle East, it's Lilith and Alu. It's an ancient Sumerian Hebrew demon. Hebrew. I don't know.
Hebrew.
I guess Hebrew, who attacks sleepers, especially men and pregnant women. Alu is an Assyrian spirit known to cause nightmare, terror, and paralysis.
That kind of makes sense with pregnant women, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
their sleep's always disrupted. They're stressed. Yeah, exactly. Eastern Europe, it's the Mora or the Mar. It's a Slavic and Norse variants of the Mara, just like believed to be witches. So a lot of these are kind of the names are closely related because it's in the same area. It's in the same. They kind of bleed into each other.
Eastern Europe,
exactly.
Middle East.
So in India, the Chudal. I don't know if I'm saying these names right, guys. So don't roast me on this. It's a female ghost with. Okay, this always gets me. It's a Chudal in India. It's a female ghost with backward feet who attacks men during their sleep. Okay, it's associated with sleep paralysis and sexual nightmares, which is interesting. But there's a few things on this thing. So the backward feet thing, when they show it in movies, always creeps me the fuck out. I don't know why.
Because it's not right.
It's not right,
you know
right?
anatomy,
Exactly.
and you're like, if you saw some
uncanny valley, they call it, when it's something that just doesn't make right. Yeah.
If you see someone walking with backwards feet toward you, you're gonna be like, what the fuck?
No, I'm not gonna see that because I'm getting the fuck out of there. That's for sure. I'm not gonna stand there and watch that.
I think I'd stop. Like I legitimately would look at the guy and be like, all right,
okay?
How do you do that? That's like when you see the back, like the knees caving back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No.
Well, it's a thing,
right?
And you're like,
how
how are you walking? Like, what's going on with that? But I don't know why they had to do backwards feet.
I don't know.
Maybe just to scare the shit out of people.
And in India, the sexual nightmares. I mean, what?
Kama Sutra, buddy.
Yeah, that's like the scary part of Kama Sutra. I guess we have the good, we have the bad.
Well, I can see the guy leading it. He was, you're going to think a lot lot sex.
Exactly, right.
But when you get devious,
it's going to be
thing
bad.
Comes for you.
Exactly. In Brazil, it's the pisadilla. Again, I don't know if I'm saying it right.
That sounds like a flatbread.
And you have some of that pisadilla. It's delicious.
That sounds really good.
Right, exactly. A crone.
I kind of want it.
It's a crone who stops on the chest of those who sleep on their back after a heavy meal, often depicted with long nails and a twisted face. Sorry.
You can't even sleep without having something fuck with you.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder. Actually, I want to know if in Mexico, because they take siestas. After a big meal.
Yeah,
I wonder if that's a thing.
Up there, I just kind of did an overall look on it. I'm sure every country, and that's basically the thing. Every country has their own kind of version from history of what this was before they found out medically, scientifically what it is.
Yeah.
I didn't dive into every country. Obviously, I just did a brief overall. So I'm sure Mexico has something that whatever it's called. In Japan, and it's called the kanashibari. And kanashibari means bound in metal. Again, I know that's not the way you're supposed to say it. That's the way it's spelled.
Bound in metal.
Yeah,
well, that makes sense because you're constricted.
Right, and from what I'm getting, that's also what they call it now. But it was also from before. But it's bound in metal. So for them,
I want to know what dude named this, and he was like, "Oh, I know that feeling."
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I know that. I know how that goes. So back in the day, they thought it was animal, or even now they think it's animal spirit possessions. Okay, it's a little odd. Victims may be possessed by spirits like the Ungami, it's a dog spirit, Kitsune, a fox, and a Tanuki, which is a raccoon dog. So usually they would get a priest who chants Buddhist sutras to end the paralysis. Another is a yokai encounters is a Makura Gashi. It's a ghost child from the Ishikiwa. Oh my gosh, I picked a bunch of Japanese names here. Prefecture. So it flips pills. So it's basically like a ghost child that they're blaming it on. And then
the one thing I want to know, because back in the Incan days when they did the sacrifices, and they're like, it was an eclipse.
Yeah.
And they're like, we'll kill as many people until the eclipse stops. But
fucking A.
So when people did this, you got a Buddhist monk How long? I didn't even look this up. How long does sleep paralysis usually last? 'Cause I think it's only like 10 minutes.
I don't even think it's that long, to tell you the truth.
So
wait, let's pause that real quick. Let's look at that. Okay,
so you have,
sleep paralysis usually lasts how long now? It says
I think it was like what, a few seconds to like
2 or 3 minutes. I think is the
maybe
average.
20
Up
minutes.
to 20 minutes on
Okay, so your partner wakes up because
Yeah.
you ain't moving,
Right.
and then they're like looking at you and you can't move. So how close is this priest for you to go run over, get the priest, come back,
I don't think right.
whoosha whoosha whoosha,
Right.
and then all of a sudden now you can move again.
I don't think that they're doing it at the time. I think afterwards, if they're having it more than once, they go get the priest to
Try to like
get it to make it stop it. Exactly. That's what I think they're saying.
'Cause
Yeah.
I'm like,
I think usually a lot of these, I guess even once would happen, but if it's like some people have it continually, every once in a while.
some people do have it continually. Yeah.
Right, and then that's when they would go and get the priest or whatever, to come do it. Again, and for the Japan thing and the human sorcery, they thought that there was actual human doing this to it, and then another one was a ghost. They thought it was a ghost. So same thing with
A lot
everybody.
of people think a
And
ghost is in the
so
house
with
and
Japan,
stuff.
it's the animal spirits, it's the ghost child, the human sorcery, other ghost attacks. In England. And in Newfoundland, it's the night hag.
Yeah,
it's
the
hag writing.
old hag.
Old hag thing.
That's
So
I'm sure a lot of people have heard about that because I think
Yeah.
that made its way over to the Americas too
yes,
during
and-
the old times.
In fact, the term being haggard came from this folklore from England and Newfoundland. It's like when you wake up haggard, that means you. So their whole thing is they would see a hag sitting on the chest, trying to steal your breath or your life force away from you, and that's why it would keep you from sleeping.
Yeah, but
That's why people
the
say
one
it was
thing
haggard.
is, out of all the stories I've seen, no one actually sees an entity.
Yeah.
It's always they think there's something there.
Well, right. Well, this one they would
can't
actually kind of
it.
see it.
They
Yeah.
they feel something.
Right.
So like for someone to be like, oh, there was an old hag on my chest last
Yeah.
night, you'd be like, did you see it?
Right.
Well, I
yeah.
mean, I just from the buttocks, I think it felt like an old hag.
This ones are saying that they do see it, or maybe they kind of feel it. It's a weird thing. We'll get into it later. It's a weird thing, but I guess they were believed they were being attacked by a wrinkled old woman who crept into the room, sat on their chest and stole their breath. These beliefs back then were so strong that assault cases were brought against suspected
fucking
witches
funny.
back then, kind of like the Salem witch thing. But this has been going over people
Yeah, but they
like
try
that
to-
woman right there was hag riding me all night, and they're like, like no, not that kind. It's this guy. It's terrible.
Yeah,
Right.
actually, the witch trials would be a good
Yeah.
show.
So the hag is not seen as just a spirit, but a real person using dark magic for some of these in England. And this connects to Newfoundland as the old hag, so it's kind of really similar. Witch-like creature, wrinkled face. She's said to crawl from the foot of the bed and perch on your chest, pin you down. Experience so common, local phrases used it like, I was hagged last night, or the hagging happened again, and guessing that kind of talk made over to us when we're like, oh, I was haggard last night. I don't hear it as much anymore when people say, man, I'm so haggard.
Yeah, you look
That's
like,
where it comes from.
Now you look like shit. I feel like shit.
Right, exactly.
Now I will say this before we move on.
Yeah.
Witches got a really bad rep because there was
Everything.
a lot of them that
Yeah.
were just they knew medicine. They were like a medicine,
Kind of like a shaman, almost.
like a
little bit.
shaman. Like
Yeah.
that's all they were. They knew the forest. They knew what medicine would go with what.
Because
and
they
then-
were different, and hermits a lot of times.
or
they-
it just got taught down in that family, or
Yeah.
what and people, since they didn't understand why this plant cured them,
Yeah.
they decided to call it witchcraft
Especially
and devilry.
when Christianity came out, anything different from Christianity and any kind of beliefs was
Yeah.
shot down a lot. And,
even though they had their own shamans.
yeah, exactly.
So
Basically,
it's like, there was people that had like real evil shit that they were trying to do to
Yeah.
people.
Right.
But most witches,
Yeah.
were just out in the forest, and they just knew the land, and they knew what medicine was what, and
yeah.
it was just taught, which is horrible that they burned them constantly.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they got blamed for a lot of stuff. But does it get any of the people that were out of the norm? Usually, it's got.
I cheated on my wife. It's her fault.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's how basically the Salem witch trials do anything.
Pretty
Just trying
much.
to just put it down, and these idiots were just
Oh,
like, okay,
man,
instead of
dude.
looking into stuff, they were just kind of
They
crushing
just
down
jumped-
these people.
Yeah, I think it was the easiest way to go.
Yeah. And I mean, again, that jumps into the red scare of the communism. People are just pointing people at other people. It happens whether it be witches or something, and you get something that's
It's
like
its
a
own
scare.
phenomenon.
Yeah, exactly. It happens a lot, and it's very scary.
It's a disease, pretty much.
And you see it rear its head every now and then, depending what it is, that time of any kind of scare going on of the communism, which is, and I'm talking about the U.S. side of, oh, that guy's a communist, kind of
Yeah.
bullshit and stuff.
I mean, we did it during COVID too, where we were like yelling at each other for no reason. And,
Yeah, exactly.
But you know,
it's known to happen that way.
Humans aren't perfect.
So let's kind of jump into the Hmong, which is an area in
I didn't know about this one.
In Japan, if I got that right. Not Japan. I mean
China,
in China.
Right?
Yeah, Hmong area. It was actually a death wave in Hmong about deal with sleep paralysis. So this is around the late 70s to mid 1980s.
Okay.
There was over 100 healthy young Hmong men that were, and they were also kind of, and I'm getting my story here mixed up a little bit. And also, a lot of them were living here in the States because they are escaping I think they had some.
They had a war going on back then.
Going on. Yeah, exactly. There over 100 healthy young Hmong men were dying in their sleep. So originally, these people that had moved from there over here, from Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, they were fleeing a war and persecution. Okay, and I'm trying to think. I was trying to look to see if it also happened in Hmong, but it was more the trying to think people were moving here that was happening here alive from that area, and so they were called it the Dab Song. Dabtcog, I guess I don't know if I'm saying that right.
TSOG.
Yeah, which means a dab means a demon, and song means like crushing. So the crushing demon. So like sleep paralysis. Everyone feels that crushing weight on their chest. So what ended up happening? They had kind of studied. Obviously, medical was trying to find out what's going on. Why are these young men dying in their sleep? Basically,
which is very concerning.
Right, and it's they called it a SUNDS, SUNS. Let me see, what do I have? A sudden, unexpected nocturnal death syndrome is what they came up with.
Okay,
it was. Let's see. It's possibly linked to Brugada syndrome, which is, I don't know exactly what that is, but it's linked to something else, basically. But no consistent physical cause was found in the autopsies.
But that's weird that it'd be just in that population of men.
Right. So some of these guys are thinking, like, maybe they think it was a lot of the stress and what they had to deal with the persecution, the war, and escaping that and moving to a new country. They linked it to that, but that still doesn't explain that many. So... I mean, maybe could have been some kind of chemical stuff that they had.
That's what I'm kind of thinking.
Yeah,
maybe they were spraying some stuff they shouldn't have been spraying.
You think they would be able to find that in the autopsies, but maybe it was something they just don't know of? Or
maybe in the 70s they couldn't. Maybe now they could.
Right.
But you know what I'm thinking? Like, so if you're living in a war zone, I'm wondering if they would have died if they stayed.
Right.
Because you're so heightened and stressed.
Yeah.
That you're always stressed. So maybe your body was just used to it, and then when they came to the States, learning how to like relax because you're not in it. Maybe that's what just exactly. They were so heightened for so long,
and when they finally let their guard down, like
the rhythmia, maybe the heart was just off.
Messed up.
It was
so
used to it was just so used to being on all the time with adrenaline.
I mean, exactly. I mean. It from what I looked into, they didn't have a definite kind of like, oh, this is exactly what it is. This is kind of like we're
still trying to figure it out.
We're saying it's going to be the suns, but it's kind of like it's just a rare cardiac arrhythmia, whatever it's called. And, so they're just like, okay, that's just what it is. But it's kind of weird that it's all been into this Hmong men from that area.
That's very weird that it'd be. I'm thinking it has to be something with.
So obviously on the spiritual side, people are thinking it's just a demon that followed them from Hmong, which
you shouldn't have
makes sense then too. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you left and everything. Yeah, you shouldn't have left. Basically,
you abandon your people, and this is what's coming after you, kind of thing.
Right.
That sucks. You're away from a war, and then you die.
And then you die, exactly, after all that and everything. So a lot of times, many of the victims, before they had died, had described nightmares and paralysis beforehand and crushing present spirits,
So they had it. So they had episodes of it.
Episodes until some of them died and stuff. So Shelley Alder, a medical folklorist, I don't know what the hell that is, argued the deaths were triggered by psychological stress amplified with cultural belief. I guess that could be it too. If they believed in it,
you just did a show on it.
Yeah,
you bring it into existence.
Right, exactly. So if you have enough, and a lot of these cultures are very strong. Like Native America, they're very strong in what their beliefs are. And if somebody tells you when you start having sleep paralysis, like this is what this is, this demon's trying to get you, it could stress you more, and it could, who knows?
Or you could believe in it so much that crushing feeling.
Yeah. Right.
Someone's going to be like, it's going to kill you. And then one night, that feeling might have you could have gave yourself that arrhythmia.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It says here, the Hmong had fled the war and genocide and persecution after, aiding the U.S. in Vietnam War. They were just traumatized. They call it like what do you call when that person comes like not shell shock, but what do they call it now?
PTSD.
PTSD. Some victims reported refusing to sleep, fearing that they would die if they did. But so that
the Vietnam War was really fucked up.
It was really fucked up.
I'm sure they saw horrific shit.
So the interesting about this, within a time limit, this is where the idea for Nightmare on Elm Street came up. Freddy. This is where this comes. This is exactly the story that that story of Freddy came from. This whole thing about dying in your sleep, for supposedly is what this what I was looking into.
I wonder if he was in their dreams.
You never know, but it kind of lines up because when Nightmare on Elm Street, like 1984 kind of run, so it was kind of there at the time when it was happening. So that's where that kind of. But that's why I kind of highlighted that. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool, but that's where that came from, and it all ties into sleep paralysis, and that's Nightmare on Elm Street came from. It's kind of weird. I mean, if you think about it, it coincides.
You know what I just learned about the cinematography of horror movies that turned humans into the monsters? Ed Gein was the original, like Psycho, Leatherface, all that was from him.
Yeah, oh yeah, and especially the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
After that, we started kind of doing.
Ed Gein was a sick man. He was the and we won't dive into that, but that's killer.
Where like
you should know who that is.
That's where we started using human like things like
monsters,
diseases
human
and
monsters,
but not just that, but like psychologically,
the
the things that scare the shit out of you. We started putting it in cinema now. It wasn't just Dracula or Frankenstein or the werewolf.
Now they had something scary, a real person. That
because other people have lived through it and they're like, oh shit, dude, I've been through this. And then now you're like, should I go to sleep? Fuck, is he in my dreams?
And they kick off your sleep paralysis. I mean, it all kind of connects in together. You have anything about folklore or?
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know if I touched on this, but like the succubus and incubus.
Okay. Yep.
That's also contributed to.
So what exactly a succubus is a woman who
the succubus is the woman that comes in and
or a woman's spirit or demonic
and they usually attack a man.
Yeah.
And it's more like a sexual act in a way.
But that's connected to just kind of sleep paralysis where they steal you. Okay.
And the whole thing is like you're laying there, you can't move, and this thing is on you and sucking your life force out of you.
It's kind of like the India one with the sexual nightmares kind of thing, like it kind of ties in a little bit,
I get why they throw the sexual thing in there, but I mean, it's the same feeling. Like you can't see anything, but something's on you, and you feel this pressure,
and you feel it stealing your life away from you. Yeah.
And then what sucks is your mind. As soon as you're in that situation, you're in fight or flight.
Yeah. And you can't move.
You're making your own reality at that point where you're like, oh shit, no, someone's in here. Someone's in here. I know someone's in here. I can feel it because you just have that in your amygdala. Right. I think it's your amygdala where it's pushing you into that.
Right.
You're freaking out, and then now you have these like there has to be a reason, and people like actually get up and they will check their entire house.
Right.
And everything's locked. Everything's exactly what it was. But till this day, they can tell you, oh no, someone was in my house. Someone was in the closet. They were staring at me while I was like that. Yeah.
Well, let's jump into some of those stories. Let's jump in. So I wanted to kind of try to dive in a little bit to some of the stories that relate to. Now, these are on different, I think most of them are on Reddit and stuff, stories, and take it for what it is, basically Reddit ones. So this one is from... Oh boy, I'm gonna have to put the name here. I don't know. It's really quick. It's I heard footsteps coming up the attic stairs beside my bed. I couldn't see anyone, but I saw something in my peripheral vision. Then I heard breathing, and very weird here. A white-faced troll grinned at me. All phones in the house started ringing louder and louder. I thought I had permanent tinnitus. When I finally moved my arm, everything stopped. The troll thing throws me off a little bit. I almost didn't want to tell this story about the troll thing, but it's kind of weird how they.
Well, no,
what they saw is a white-faced troll.
What I want to know is what the fuck were they watching before they went to bed? Were you watching Arcadia? I think it's called Arcadia, where there's a white-faced troll in it.
Maybe.
Were you watching Gremlins? Were you watching some shit
just
where
troll
your
movie.
imagination made up this fucking troll?
Right. Another one here is Ginger Oblivion.
Of course, a ginger.
I woke up to footsteps in the hallway. I was lying on my back, which I never do. I tried to turn my head, but I couldn't move. I felt someone standing beside my bed, silently staring down at me. I could see a weapon in his hand, maybe a knife. I tried to scream, but I was frozen. It felt like hours. Until I guess basically they moved and then they. So all these the same thing. You're frozen. You feel a presence.
Perfect example of these.
Yeah.
What's your nightmare? You can't move. Someone's by your bed with a weapon.
Yeah.
Or you're afraid of trolls.
Right.
Trolls in there. everything starts with footsteps, because footsteps scare the shit out of you.
Especially if you don't know where they're coming from. Exactly.
When you're sleeping and all you hear is footsteps in the house, and you know you're the only one in the house, or everyone else is sleeping, that's the first reaction is, oh shit, someone's in my house.
Yeah.
And that's, everyone fears it.
Yeah.
Whether they say it or not.
Yeah. How could you need someone that's unknown that's invading your house?
Yeah.
Another one's from Lucid Dream Society, I guess you say the name. Inaudible whispers and chest pressure. I woke up under the covers, unable to move. I felt enormous pressure on my chest. I sensed a face inches from mine. Then I heard inaudible whispers in both ears and pounding on the wall next to me. So that one's kind of, and that's right, exactly. Well, they couldn't hear exactly what it said.
How funny would that be if it was actually like, all right, don't cancel me, but what if it was like a gay demon, and he was like, he came in, and he was like, I really like your bitches.
I think more is like,
you left the fridge open.
Yeah. Like what?
I ate the salami.
That's right.
You know that meal that you wanted yesterday? I ate it today.
You need more cheese. Put it on the grocery list. Another one's
very fucking hilarious.
From Quentin, I guess, but the name's a reoccurring shadow guest. For decades, I have had sleep paralysis. It started with choking and being somewhere else. Now I often see one of the 3 shadow guests. I lose to them. Okay, let me read that again. That's very weird. For decades, I've had sleep paralysis. It started with choking and being somewhere else. Okay. Now I often see 1 to 3 shadow guests. I lose to them when fear escalates into shock. That's when they get close. And that's kind of interesting. That's
so it takes you somewhere else, though? Because usually it's you're in your room, not you're somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly. So like this one, I would say it's more of
I think he's having
like
fucked up dreams.
Exactly.
I think he's having lucid dreams.
Especially but I thought it was interesting where they had multiple, usually it's like a presence, they say, and this was like multiple ones.
Yeah, but if you think about it, he's saying he's been doing that for a long time, right?
Yeah.
So your fears, okay, let's say you get used to the one presence. Now your mind's going to add another one to scare you again. Because it's your fears. Now, okay, I'm not afraid of one person. Now, okay, what if there's 4?
Exactly.
Shit. Yeah. All right.
Pretty soon he has a whole auditorium full of people.
Fucking, what was the crowd with Queen when he was singing?
Oh, yeah.
That big ass crowd. It's a whole fucking crowd in his bedroom. Nah, dude, I had 80,000 people.
No, guys, it's not working. He's not scared. Go get more friends.
Yeah. No, it was real. There's 80,000 people in my bedroom. They're just breathing.
Just turned into a rock concert.
Yeah, okay.
What do you want to do with your life? Like, I want to rock. That's right. Well, yeah, so that's a few of the stories out there. I looked up some more. There's some really, to me, there were some ones that were obviously kind of just like dream stuff, and other ones. But a lot of these I picked because it kind of correlates with some of the symptoms that as sleep paralysis that medically goes on. That's connected to a lot of it. It's like can't move, sensing a presence, doing all that stuff. So
there's definitely a difference between lucid dreaming and actual sleep paralysis.
So let's jump into our thoughts and our any experiences of anything. So no, you haven't had any experience sleep paralysis.
No, so I haven't had it. My girl hasn't had it.
Yeah.
The only thing I've had close enough to it was I was having a fun night on mushrooms.
Okay.
And I decided to go to bed. And like where my bed is, I can see like my living room, like it's a straight shot.
Yeah.
And I woke up out of a dead sleep. And it wasn't that I couldn't move. It was more like I was staring into this just darkness. Mm-hmm. And I knew for a fact there was somebody in that room. Mm. I've never felt that before. I don't have trips like that. It was just this weird
feeling that you thought someone was there.
And it was to the point where I was scared to go in I was so convinced there was someone in that room. And I'm looking at my dogs. I'm like, okay, why aren't they reacting?
Right.
Okay, I can. We're like I was looking like, all right, I'm gonna have to get a knife. I'm gonna have to go figure this out.
Yeah.
And I didn't hear anything. I didn't see anything. I just knew there was a presence in that room, and I was like, oh shit! Like, okay, we got to deal with this.
Right.
And then I think when I turned the light on, the feeling just completely went away.
Interesting. Well, you know, if you harken back to our interview with Persephone, shout out there, Persephone. Maybe you were seeing something, just not on this plane.
Well, you know what I think was going on? I think because I did go to sleep for maybe, I don't know, hour and a half. I'm really wondering if the drugs definitely didn't help.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if I was in REM sleep.
still when you woke up.
And when I woke up, I just had whatever I was dreaming about, and the drugs amplified it. And I thought there was something in that house.
Maybe
you know what I mean?
Right, exactly, because you have that. But you need to tell people the mushrooms were on mushrooms on a pizza. It wasn't like the actual. You were just ate a bunch of them.
Sure, but they're on a pizza.
Oh, these mushrooms are delicious. They're on pizza. but yeah, exactly. So
if I couldn't, if I was in that situation where I couldn't move,
right,
and I felt that, I would be freaking the fuck out.
So the skeptical scientific term is basically you were still feeling for the mushrooms. Like I said, you woke up from REM sleep. You thought you saw something there. Which obviously the dogs were barking. That's basically what it
dogs
is.
Dogs were out cold.
Any kind of spiritual, paranormal thing. You did wake up. You did see something, but it wasn't off this plane, and that's why.
Maybe
you just somehow every once in a while we just kind of be able to see behind the veil. And when you finally fully wake, because you were in the mid kind of a dream thing, and other ones it was just a dream, basically. You know,
could be, yeah. I could be lucid dreaming, and the weird thing was like it wasn't. You know how like you feel the presence of like evil or like something's gonna do bad to you.
Yeah,
it wasn't quite that.
Right. But it was like someone.
It was one of those situations where like I needed to get whatever that thing was out of my house.
Right.
It wasn't doing anything at the point, but it needed to get the fuck out.
Right.
Because I didn't know if it had intentions. Like it might have. Maybe that's what I was feeling.
Yeah.
And maybe I was feeling something from a different plane. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have had
whether
experiences.
Or ghost or presence or whatever.
And maybe it was just my mind was open enough to where I could feel it.
Yeah, maybe.
But
I mean, because that's what the mushrooms were originally kind of done, right? Like an ayahuasca and all this stuff. We're supposed to open your mind.
Somewhere.
It is linked to just being tripping balls, you know, it's just fine. Or does it really open something that you can, that you can tap into?
My opinion is I think it's a highway to something that we don't know.
Well, just like peyote with the Native Americans, it's...
They get to see their ancestors.
And it's funny how we all kind of like, they're just tripping balls. I go, okay, they might be, but are they really opening doors that we don't know?
I truly think they are. And I think I did open a door that night, and I think something was in my...
It's...
Whatever it was.
We can't... I guess you can. You can't sit there and just laugh and point at someone because they're, cultural, spiritual beliefs thing. It's a bunch of bullshit. When they themselves believe into it, it doesn't exactly. It's not true to you, but it's true to them. And we always say that, The same with the manifesting stuff. If you believe it enough, then maybe it is true. I don't know. It's kind of a. I'm in the middle of that most stuff about it. I understand both sides of it. I understand the skeptical, like it's just, dude, you're on drugs. I mean, your mind just opened up. At the same time, we don't really understand mind, and we don't understand spiritual world. Most people don't even believe that shit. And how do we say that it's just all bullshit when we have cultures that for hundreds and maybe thousands of years are doing this stuff?
I mean, most religions are off of mushrooms.
Yeah,
and psilocybin and.
Boy, it sure seems like some of these are. Some of them, they're still on.
No, they are. Even if you go to the Vatican, they have the pine cone.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Some of the priests will laugh and they'll be like, "Do you know what that is?" And you're like, "Oh yeah," and they start laughing. Really? Like, okay.
Yeah. Like, you guys doing that now? Like, no.
Yeah, but that was the closest thing I've ever had to sleep paralysis, and I was like, if I couldn't move, I'd be freaking the fuck out.
So I've had a sleep paralysis episode once. It was a very long time ago. It was it was like over 28 years ago. It was that bad. I still remember. It was me and the wife had just gotten our first apartment. It was a single apartment. My oldest boy, I have 4 kids now. My oldest one, who's 28 now, was just an infant. So it was plus 20 years. It was the second night in the apartment, 1 bedroom part. So all I had is a bedroom, and then the other side was just a long, kitchen and living room all connected together. It was very simple.
Okay.
I get that whole thing where I open my eyes, wake up, and then I can't move. Your body's shut down. And then I had a feeling of, holy shit, I think there's somebody inside the apartment. And there's somebody here. And it was a terrifying. I guess it is terrifying, but it's more amplified than that. So I couldn't move. So I'm trying to call out to my wife, and then it felt like I couldn't see it, but it felt like your presence came to the doorway. So I was sleeping where the bed was. I was sleeping close to the door. It felt a presence at the door.
Okay.
I couldn't see it, but I could see it at the same time. And obviously I'm scared. I'm trying to move, and I felt the presence come up, and I felt like its face getting right here by the edge of the bed and kind of looking at me. I could feel it staring at me, and I'm freaking out. I'm trying to move. I'm trying to scream out. I don't know how long it was, but I finally it kind of got right here, it lasted a lot longer. It came in closely, and I finally was able to go. And I did this. There was nothing there. I did the same. When you got up, I got up. I looked around. I stood up and I looked out into the other room, and there was nothing, just to make sure everything was fine. Everything's
Start
cool.
checking doors.
So
and
I
shit.
looked around and I just calmed myself down. And it took a few minutes to go back to bed. Then I went back to sleep. Like nothing. It kind of like that feeling of terror. It went away. It subsided a little bit. It was there for a little bit. When I woke up, I went and checked. Everything's fine. It just subsided, and that was it. I didn't tell the wife about this for years. And she was like, "Why did you tell me?" I didn't want to freak you out. I was working graveyard. Plus, after that, it felt safe. Like the apartment felt okay afterwards. It wasn't like
you had that one scare,
and then felt safe. So I've always, with that experience, I've always attributed to, we had just moved into a place. Maybe something was there and was checking out who and what we are. And
could be.
Maybe, I don't know whether it be, everyone kind of fights against it, maybe trying to grab at it or trying to push away from it. It said, okay, and then just left. Because after that, I never had any other problems with that apartment.
Never had sleep paralysis.
Never had sleep. So maybe there was something there from the last person. It checked me out, and then I didn't see, I don't like this person, or no, I'm
or
not going to have
maybe
fun.
This thing will fight back.
To fight back, and then it just left. Because after that, it felt fine. If I had felt anything still lingering there, I would have told the wife, I'm like, hey, be careful with this. Because I had an infant and the wife. It was, I would have been, but after that, when I checked everything, I'm like, all right, everything's fucking cool. And then I didn't want to scare her, so I mentioned it later, and she mentioned once. I go, well, it felt like it left. So,
yeah.
And it's funny how, so we would talk about the scientific terms like, well, you're still asleep. I'm like, yeah, but in your medical research, what you're saying, you just said my mind's awake. And they go, yeah, but you're in between dreams. And, okay, if that's true, why does all these cultures, if you look, always experience the same kind of thing? To me, it just doesn't add up. So I am falling a little bit of like, I get the body falling asleep part, but I'm still, if I'm on the fence, I'm more on the fence of the kind of something maybe paranormal side of it. Because everybody has that same, even when we didn't know we were all experiencing this, we all felt the same thing. Some presence there. I don't know. I didn't feel the chesting. I was fine, but I get that.
Well, maybe you didn't have that type of stress in your life.
Maybe the chesting is part of the stress, exactly. But the feeling of a presence there was very terrifying. Why am I asleep? Why does that terrifying feeling come up?
Or have you ever had anxiety attacks?
I have.
Really?
Yeah, I've had one pretty bad one, and and the only reason why I was okay. The only reason I was okay because my mom had anxiety attacks for years, and the way she described it, when I figured out exactly what it was, and it felt totally different. It's anxiety attacks can happen
because that pain, like that heaviness on your chest, you get that during like panic attack, anxiety attack. So I'm wondering if someone that's really susceptible to that, when they have sleep paralysis, that's why they feel that heaviness on the chest.
It could be.
Or their anxiety just starts kicking in.
And I would say anxiety, but I would say with anxiety attacks, you don't have a presence. You just get freaked out. Like you just can't calm down is what it is, an anxiety attack.
Yeah, I've had one.
Right. Yeah. So it's not like you, so that's what's the weird thing about the presence thing. So,
but I think you also had a different mindset when you felt something in your house.
But that's just it.
You weren't scared. You were more like, I need to get this thing. Like, I need to protect my family. You were in fight mode.
So that's what gets me off about the total scientifical thing about, okay, it's just your mind doing this stuff. I go, I kind of get that. I don't know. Again, I understand it. At the same time, it's like, the terror that this brought on, and the presence, like there was something fucking here.
There was definitely, I felt something.
There's something here.
Yeah, there was definitely something here. I don't know what it was.
Right.
But I also know that I mess with things that, and you might not agree with me, but I think I open doors to things.
Yeah.
And to maybe presences or different worlds, or I don't know. And I don't think we're ever going to find out, because that's something that you can't really study.
Right.
You can't hold it. You can't.
Now we can't. Yeah. Right now you can't study it all.
You just can't.
So, and that's what it is.
And I think that's what it was. Like, I think for you, like maybe there was something in your house and your brain glitched, or you had that enough of a, maybe the primitive side of you was like, dude, something's in here. I got to get it out. And that's why you woke up, but your brain was still, your body was in that REM sleep.
Exactly.
And you were like, no, I see you. I got you. I know you're here. We need to get you out.
Right. And
because you've always been real susceptible to like ghosts and spirits and stuff like that.
Exactly. I've had stuff like that happen. So, so that's why I kind of believe it's something. I mean, did it mean me harm? I have no idea, but it was...
It was unwelcome.
It's kind of weird your fight or flight would kick in that bad when you're like asleep. I mean, when you're awake, it's kind of
you got to think how many times in human history have humans been attacked while they're sleeping? Yeah. So the survivors of that gets passed down genetics.
Yeah, they say genetically, exactly. Yeah.
So that's why some people are light sleepers. That's why some, you hear it knocking,
that's why
you don't sleep through it. You get up.
Right. So, but yeah. Anyways, with me, it's I literally, my theory on it, I think it could be linked to maybe, I don't know what, I'm not saying demon, I hate saying the word demons.
No, like spirits.
I think just kind of spirits or
world things.
Otherly, humanly spirit, whatever it is. And somehow when you get stuck on that sleep paralysis thing, your mind is more open to it maybe. And maybe that's why it freaks you out, because then you suddenly notice these things are around you. I can imagine if you suddenly just got like that what they call that third eye and start seeing stuff, that would freak you the fuck out, because you would start seeing shit. Like Persephone, Persephone would shout out when she was younger, started seeing stuff. Like, what the hell is that?
But she thought it was normal.
Yeah, well, I mean, even scary stuff. She started saying, "What is that?" Like, you had to learn how to.
Yeah, you have to learn how to take it in.
With us, so we don't see that all the time, and you suddenly start experiencing that and feeling those presences. Of course, it's going to terrify you. So I think it's kind of linked to that a little bit. Whether it's true or not, I don't know, guys. It's hard when you do, and I know there's guys out there, people out there who've experienced stuff. I've had a brother who had sleep paralysis. He had the one where he kind of went up, and he felt like he was floating.
Levitation is one of the things. Well, the one we didn't talk about was people with sleep paralysis. They also think they're getting abducted by aliens. Yeah, that's a lot of gray stories and stuff like that.
That connects to that too, exactly. And they have terrifying visions of that. And those two also, a lot of times they had the same visions without knowing each other's stories, which from my understanding. Nowadays, if someone comes out, you're kind of like, well, you just read that story there. But when these stories first came out, they were from different people from,
they're isolated.
We talked about
very isolated cases.
I've had a son who gets reoccurring sleep paralysis too, every once in a while. He goes, I can kind of feel when it's going to come on. So he's had a long day, he's stressful or something. It doesn't happen a lot, but it happens a few times.
So does he freak out every time he gets it though?
He does a little bit. At first, I guess the more it happens now, he's like, I just try not to look at the things that are there, because I've seen some weird stuff.
That's one of my questions. If you get it constantly, like you're like habitual with it. Yeah. Do you get to the point where you're like, fuck, all right, here we go again?
That's kind of what he said. It's still scary as shit seeing some of the stuff. You get to see some, and I'm trying to remember, it was a conversation I had probably about a little more a month ago. They talked about it. I should have had him call in or be on the show. But yeah, he... But it's funny how he goes, it depends on my night before I go to bed. I can almost feel like, okay, I know this is going to come.
He's just that exhausted.
Right. But I guess I would imagine if it happens, sleep paralysis only happened to me once. But if you happens quite a bit for you, I guess you would kind of not...
Kind of get used to it?
Not get used to it, but you get prepared for it. Like, it doesn't catch you unaware, basically. Like, okay, here we go. Something's going to come up, So that's where, too, that even habitual ones are still seeing crazy shit. It's the same kind of presence in the room. That's scary. I mean,
I think I try to communicate.
How? You can't move or talk
or blink.
Yeah. What do you mean, fuck you? Screw you, buddy.
I can see your girl wakes up and you're like, why are you blinking so much? And you get out of it, you're like, I was cussing this thing out in our house, saying, get the fuck out. He knows. He can read my mind.
She's like, that's a good idea. Get the fuck out. It's funny.
And he's like, yeah, and I think you need to leave too.
Right. All right. Well, I mean, any other lasting thoughts about... sleep paralysis? I mean, again, it's we do have medical backing of what it is and stuff. Again, for me, I understand the whole part of how it happens. Like your body's asleep, but your mind kind of goes awake, and they say you're still kind of in dream state, and that's why these are dreams. I don't know. I still remember the terror I felt. I don't know. To me, it wasn't a dream state. It's funny because they say your mind's awake. Well, how come my mind be awake and you tell me I'm still in a fucking dream. I mean, I'm awake.
Well, your mind's always awake. It's just going into...
When you open your eyes, and I remember looking around the room, and then the thing kicks in, so I don't know. I get it, and I don't get it at the same times.
I think you got to, instead of looking at it as a whole, I think you got to look at your body as different parts. So you're shutting down the machine, right?
Yeah.
You're, like, let's just say you shut down the machine, but... I don't know, one part of it, like, which is your eyes, is not quite yet shut down.
Yeah.
But the rest of the machine is done.
Right. But it's not just your eyes. I mean, your mind is going. For me, the eyes and I think what you're seeing is together.
Your sensory is always going, though.
I get what you're saying. With me, is science always tries to explain away some weird shit. You know, we've both seen some weird shit, and science always tries to explain, like, well, you just saw this and that. That's my take on it. It's like, I get it, at the same time, I don't. You know, it's very hard for me to... And then again, when I read through a lot of these stories, this is what gets me all flustered. I read some of these stories, some of the stories I brought you, and I'm like, the white-faced troll, I'm like, come on, that sounds like a fucking, like you're dreaming there. That sounds like what you said. You just saw something about it.
You were
dreaming.
Watching something.
But who am I to say that they're bullshit, but what I experienced was true? You know, it's I think, again, unfortunately, when you get these weird stories online and people who fake shit, it kind of muddies the waters a bit. Or if you kind of, if you're seeing scary movies, it or whatever, you know, a lot of stuff going there.
You.
I do think there was a little bit of
influence in there.
But I think there's a little bit of a realism to me in sleep paralysis that of what we're seeing and what we're feeling is actually happening for me.
I get it, yeah.
You know, I don't. Well, the people I know, and I hear stories from a lot of people, not just, you know, family, and the way they tell it, and it's nothing ever crazy like this. It's kind of closer to what my story was
just
and how
presence.
I felt, the presence, and everything. I believe those more. I don't know. It's to me. I lean more on the side of actually being something paranormal, combined with a little bit of scientific, especially the body. I don't think the ghost, or I don't think the presence making your body paralyzed. I think that just happens. But when that happens, it's like a window of opportunity. Whatever's there is like, oh, hey, I can go.
It cracks the door open.
Yeah, I can see. This person's in that state. I can go fuck with them, or I can go see who that is. They can look into you more or something. I don't know. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
no, that does make sense. Yeah. Like, so for me, I think we know why you get into that state.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But we know kind of what REM sleep is, but we don't know why we have such crazy dreams or the worlds we see when we're in those dreams.
What is that? They can't really tell you what those dreams are.
They have no idea what they are.
Yeah.
They just think it's your imagination.
A mind dump, a brain dump of what you had there. And
the weird thing that I learned recently was you can only dream of people that you have seen.
Yeah.
Like, if you see a face,
yeah,
you can only, like, that's you because it's from your past experiences. Now, if you see a new face, they're saying it's something completely different, like some thing has entered your realm.
Well, I mean, yeah, but and these studies, but how would they really know that though? It's how do you even study that?
So I think they're going
That's
off,
what we're talking about. Yeah,
I think they're going off your memory.
Yeah, but it's still like.
But even then, you know how we don't have some people have photographic memory.
Right.
You look at a crowd, you've seen all the faces, but some of them you just don't remember.
I mean, you don't even have to have a photographic memory. You can just probably, your brain picks it up sometimes, and just keep it on there.
So what I think sleep paralysis is, I think whatever realm, whatever dimension we go into when we go to sleep, I think that comes, like, if you wake up, that's in your reality now.
Yeah.
Like, you brought whatever thing, like, it's just you're opening a door.
Right.
And
your dream state's coming over. Yeah.
Certain things are checking you out. Yeah. I think that if you have, like, the more evil feel, something's trying to actually harm you.
So in your explanation, depends on where you think your dream state's at, whether it be just in your mind or whether you actually go somewhere. Something might cross over when you're in that certain sleep process.
Or you're bringing it over from...
And that kind of covers both bases of what it could be. It covers everybody. It covers, like, you're just dreaming. It covers
you
also,
think it's
like,
a demon?
If
it could
you think you go to a different dimension when you sleep, then it probably could be that. Look, just kind of that wall thinning and that veil thinning a little bit.
It's just maybe a crack in
something
it,
that's near you or something. Oh, yeah, that's a good explanation too. I mean, that covers everything.
Especially with the way Persephone talks about it. She has that doorway, right?
Yeah.
And it's like the clean zone.
Yeah.
I think when you dream, maybe if someone's more susceptible, like, has kind of, I think everyone has
something to them. Yeah.
Well, I think they
the
have something
ability.
like what she has.
The ability to do it,
But
yeah.
we just don't know how to hone it, or we don't. It's not strong enough. And I think when you're in a dream state and it's that
You
deep
tap
in a
into
dream,
it a little bit, yeah.
you tap in and you're
Maybe.
opening that doorway, and
Yeah.
that's why when you open and you feel something there, something really is there.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
And you have to break that kind of that tie.
Yeah.
When you finally can get out of that REM cycle fully.
Right, exactly.
And then that veil goes back down.
That sounds all right to me. I mean, that would follow more in line with the way I would look at it. That kind of makes sense that way too. So interesting.
'cause
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
This fucking guy right here. Huh?
That's what I think.
I'm sure Persephone would be like,
I'm not a doctor.
hey, good shout out again, Persephone.
That's
You
just
know,
what I
it's,
think,
yeah,
you know?
we're learning stuff here. So
Just from what I felt and what I've experienced.
Right.
It feels way too real. Like you're talking to someone. I've been hunted down by mountain lions. I've had real situations happen
Yeah.
to me. I know what fear is.
yeah, you know, the fight or flight kind of thing. Yeah, yeah.
And what
True
I
brother,
felt
yeah.
was legitly, it was there.
right. Right.
Like it was like it wasn't in my mind. It was there. My
Yeah.
body was reacting to it. I
Yeah.
felt it. I knew something was there.
Whether the the drugs got you there or not doesn't mean it wasn't there.
No,
Basically.
I
It
think
just might have
maybe
opened that door.
maybe it
Maybe
just slit that.
open that door a little
Yep.
bit. Interesting. All right, guys. Hey, what do you guys think, man? What are your stories
Yeah,
about it?
please
And-
tell us.
And
Comment.
what do your skeptical views? You know, we get it. I guess I totally understand. If I hadn't experienced sleep paralysis myself, I probably would have been more on your side, like it's all bullshit. You know, maybe something's there a little bit, but I'm not saying that you're saying it's bullshit stuff, but just out there, people out there, and maybe you have, and you're still like it's just your mind stuff, and we get that. I totally understand that. You know, it's
We all make our own reality.
we
perceive it how
That's
we want to.
And just because people who experience stuff and they're scared of it doesn't mean they're not fully experiencing it because they think it's there. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just as scary.
You clearly experienced something.
Exactly. So yeah, again, guys, comment. Tell us what you think. Tell us what you don't think. Tell us to shut the hell up.
And we'll see you next episode.
Yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And hopefully we'll be here again not too long with our episodes. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes takes
Hopefully we'll have a
long.
guest on too.
Yeah, it sounds good. All right,
Yep.
guys, we'll see you.
Have a good one.
Bye.